Hi. Fantastic. Ah,
Hello, sorry, I'm just connecting my. How do I connect my video? I'm going to work this out.
a little bit like Zoom, I think.
Let's see. Live access needed to go live. Let's see. Sorry, this is actually my first live.
Oh, I'm very, very excited. I wondered because I know that you've got like under 1,000 followers. So I was like, oh, I know. Let's do a live with her because she might want to do that.
Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you so much for having me. It's
Hi.
so nice to meet you too. Okay.
No, thank you.
Oh, wait, it says
You're
live
on.
access needed to go live on video as a guest. You can go live on audio.
Yes. Oh, interesting.
So maybe it won't.
Um, that is interesting. Are you sure it's only audio?
Yeah, it says live access needed to go live on video as a guest.
Yes. Go live with Jess. Oh, here we go. Can't turn on camera because Jess doesn't have access to join with video. What?
That's so strange.
Interesting. I wonder if that's like a because you're in Australia thing.
Or even because I haven't reached 1,000 followers yet, that they're not letting me go live with video.
Oh,
That would be
ah,
that would be so sad though. I
I know.
feel like I need to
Oh
Google
man.
it. I mean,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
would love to chat anyway, but I've taken myself to the park, so I'm away from. Well, I was going to say I'm away from construction zones, but someone's starting to hammer in the nearby distance. But um,
Oh yes, no, that's all good. You're a living, breathing human who has a life, right?
yeah. How's your day been anyway?
Yeah, it's been good. I've just been working, so I've just been doing reduced hours. I'm also just watching as like people say they're joining, which is lovely. So I've kind of just been keeping to myself and then looking forward to this live.
Yeah, nice. I
Ah.
love your beautiful wings, by the way. They're gorgeous.
Oh, this? I'm in a hammock.
Oh, you're in a hammock. They look like fairy wings from where I was looking at. You look like a fairy princess. I loved it. I
Oh
loved
my
it.
God, I'll take
Yeah.
it.
Oh, what do you
I like my wings
what
too.
what do you do for work?
So I studied occupational therapy,
Oh, okay.
and yeah, and there was a couple, there was 4 or 5 years ago now,
Yeah.
and now I'm working as a physio assistant because there's kind of been some things that kind of happened in the background, which more than happy to talk about, but like just a crazy journey. So
Yeah.
working on my own mental health and it's real good. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today is I just want to encourage other creators and like give them an opportunity to have their voice heard, and in your case unfortunately it will be just your voice, which I did not realize. So I don't know how we can do that. Wonder if I can't turn off camera because okay. um Either way, I guess we can still hear your lovely voice. For everyone who's joining, um so this is Jess, and she has the most amazing voice and some really beautiful music. Go and friend her, and follow her, and not in real life, just online. And but shh, they always said I make a great dad. Slay, yeah. I'm gonna take that, Jess.
Yeah.
Jess and friends. Woo!
Oh, no, thank you for your kind words too. It's yeah, I love following your content and I love your vulnerability and how you show up on this platform and yeah, it's really nice to meet like-minded individuals who feel just as passionate about being honest and open and yeah, and yeah, I think that makes such a big difference to other creatives too. Otherwise, it's so easy to sort of assume that I don't know, everybody else has it figured out, or we missed out on
Yeah.
a like an instruction guide to how to do it all.
Yeah, exactly. That like there's like this secret meeting that everybody else has attended.
Absolutely, yeah. We just didn't get an invite.
Right, exactly. How dare. um, so what got you started as a creator on TikTok? What was like the big thing for you?
It's a good question. There was another musician in a similar space to what I'm in, who sort of resisted TikTok for a while, but ended up giving it a go and ended up finding quite a big audience on this platform, and
Mm-hmm.
really just yeah started to share with other people the sort of benefits of TikTok and how you can sort of create your audience in a way that's so unique to I don't know, it's quite unique compared to other platforms. And so I think at first I had a lot of resistance to it as well. But I think the more that I do it, the more that I actually find it to be incredibly conducive to creativity and yeah, and just
Mm-hmm.
exploring that. It actually feels less limiting than what other platforms do. And I really like that you can sort of reach anyone and everybody and include anyone and everybody, and it just feels a lot more inclusive, and it feels a lot more yeah a lot more creative. Yeah, what about you? How did you get started on here?
Well, my my story is slightly different. So I'm kind of a fan of Stuart Mackey, um, who's a creator, and he just has some great content. Some of it's kind of like book talky, but then also some of it's like mental health and like personal well-being and that sort of thing. And I was reading his content, watching his content, sorry, and I thought, you know what, I could do that. I might come from a different place because I'm not an Irish guy with hair for days jumping into lakes, but I'm a New Zealand gal jumping into hammocks and trying to make the world a bit happier. I guess my big thing is like I realized that through what I'm doing right now, I am able to reach people and hopefully make their day a little bit better, and give them the some tools that they can put into their little kete, which is what Māori people will call like the bag of knowledge, and yeah, just that I would be able to help foster people's joy. That probably
Yeah.
sounds like I'm a grandma.
But I love that. Even some of the videos that I've tuned in to watch you share, where you've shared things that have helped you. I think that's the best way we can sort of help each other, is just sharing what has helped us as individuals, so that other people have a chance, like you say, to access different tools and ideas that might help them on whatever journey they're on with their mental health or creativity. It's amazing how little things can make a big difference, whether it's a phrase or a yeah, like I loved you shared about the blob tree. I'd never heard about is it the blob tree? Is that what it's called?
Yep,
Yeah,
absolutely. It's a
yeah.
blob tree.
I love that.
Yeah.
I thought that was like it's a nice visual way to tune into yeah, like to represent emotions and all sorts of things as well too, which is really nice, because I think that everybody, connects with things in different ways too. So it's nice to have something that's more of a visual in that way as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I might even do like a practice one, like so that people can actually see like what is where I currently am and what I'm currently thinking. Because when I was doing that blob tree, I'm like, there is so much in this.
Mm.
There's so many different ways everybody could look at that particular tree. It's basically for anybody who's tuned in. It's basically a tree with a whole bunch of people on it in different kind of states, and you kind of choose the person on the tree that you most identify with for that time, and then you like talk about it, and it's just about getting to understand what's going on in your head, and like what your hopes and dreams and talents are, and but also maybe what are your fears and what are the things that are kind of holding you back. And once you have that kind of self-awareness, then it helps to build you up to continue being being yourself and being confident in yourself and knowing your strengths and knowing those things that might pull you down. So I found it really helpful. Yeah. Now I'm waffling.
I love, but it's, yeah, it's obviously something that's really helped you, and I think that yeah, yeah, like I said, I think sharing that with other people is so, it's so important. I have this sort of thing that I like to say, which is I feel like the purpose of life is to walk each other home, and I feel like it's by sharing things like that that we have the chance to walk each other home.
Yeah, I love that. Wow. Because when we're working with each other, we're not working against each other, which probably sounds a bit like a hippie kind of shape. But hey, I've got long sleeves with like long flowy sleeves. I might as well be one.
You can't see me right now, but I'm also wearing a long flowy dress and sitting in a park with my bare feet. So
Oh my gosh! Oh, I so wish that you were able to I
I
wonder
know.
why. Oh
I,
wow.
yeah, it's so strange. I wish I don't think I can go into settings or anything to be able to sort of, yeah, I'm not really sure. I just yeah,
Yeah.
I guess I'll work it out, but yeah, it's lovely to to chat with you anyway.
Hey, maybe we could do a podcast together sometime. I
Oh,
feel
that would be
like we've kind of like on a good kind of value, like we have the same kind of value systems a little bit.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I'm releasing a bunch of music at the moment, but in conjunction with the release of the album that the music is a part of, I really want to do like a complimentary podcast
Mm.
where I use every episode to explain the songs, but I was even thinking I could extend it to having people on. So yeah, it
Wow.
would be so great to have a chat together and share that on a
I
different
love that. That'll
view.
be amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell us a bit more about your music.
Yeah, so I've been singing, ever since I could talk, as people classically say, but I've been doing the solo thing for maybe
Mm.
the last few years. Before that, I was in bands. I was in a band called the Counterfeit Umbrellas, which ended up becoming the Lighthearts, and like we ended up doing pretty well. Played a lot of like festivals in Australia, and recently one of our songs is trending in Romania, which is really random, but um, yeah. So I feel like I've had a bit of a past life in music, and now I'm doing solo artistry, which is something I dreamt of doing for a long time, but felt like I almost didn't have the I don't know, courage sounds like the wrong word, but it felt like I didn't really have the capability to do that because it felt so scary. But
Yeah.
then COVID happened, and it really gave me a big chance to learn guitar, to write songs, to learn cover songs, and so when everything sort of started to open back up again, I actually started working as a like a gigging artist, like a cover musician. And I've been doing that ever
Cool.
since as my full time job. Yeah, like Thursday to Sundays. But yeah, but then on the side, and the thing I'm really passionate about is obviously writing songs, releasing music. I've got another song coming out in a couple of weeks' time,
Mm.
um, and I'm really passionate about sharing music that has. That music that is human, but also I think the songs that I've released up until this point have shared some kind of empowering theme or affirmation,
Mm.
or because I feel like music's also a really powerful opportunity for people to be able to tune into those sorts of things, and almost sing songs like their affirmations and mantras, and get the benefits of that in that way as well. So yeah, I know it's a fun
Definitely.
thing to explore. I think we're always evolving in whatever expression and creativity looks like for us as artists and creatives. But yeah, it's a beautiful journey.
Oh, I love that as well. Like about like how music is a bit like looking at like it is so powerful. And it gives us a chance to really express ourselves maybe in a way that we would not be able to if we were like just and talking. If you understand what I mean?
For sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what about you? So, I mean, you're obviously a very creative human. You know, you sing, you write songs. Yeah, tell me about what it means to you to be creative and what that looks like for you.
Yeah. So recently, it has actually been like an absolute lifesaver.
Mm.
So what you probably don't know about me is I used to work as an occupational therapist. I was working full time, and then it just started going a bit downhill. I got into like a professional improvement plan. I wasn't able to keep up with my workloads. I found out that I had ADHD because I saw that in other children around me.
Mm.
So that was kind of a bit crazy. So being on professional improvement plan and then also getting an ADHD and inattentive diagnosis.
Mm.
And then I also found out, like, just through a random series of events that last year that back when I was 4, that a babysitter came into my room and dot dot dot. And so I've actually been living with that without realizing it, but my body remembered. So sorry,
No,
it's probably a bit of a TMI, but what that means is that I've got this very unique kind of experience that I did not know how to share, and so I ended up sharing it through music. So I've got songs on that are like kind of more kind of morose songs, like this one called Uncertainty, like where we're basically like there's this uncertainty and it's not comfortable, but it's there and it's like it's almost your best friend, even though you don't want it to be.
Mm.
Um, and then also songs like Keep One, which is a song that is talking about just getting one foot in front of the other. So, like, there's a bit in it where it talks about I tell my future self that present me is doing just fine, and past me is in the past and has brought me to where I am. So
Mm.
it's about like really understanding yourself. And then there's just some songs where, you know what, I was a little bit angry, and so I wrote a song about something that was annoying me,
Yeah.
and it turned out well. And yeah, so I've got some like jazzy type stuff, and then I've also got some more kind of like soft rock type stuff. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Oh. No, I mean, yeah, thank you for sharing. It's obvious, it's amazing how, yeah, like we can be taken to some really dark places. But things like music and different forms of art can really help us to process those things. Not necessarily even to make things better or make things go away, because I don't even think that's the point, but just to be able to process it and sit with it and yeah, and almost sort of connect with yourself and move forward with all, yeah, all parts of you. And yeah, I think it can be such a powerful tool for healing and processing and expression, as it sounds like it has been for you.
Mm, mm. Yeah, and I guess that's the story that I want to be sharing out to the world, is that like no matter where we are and what we're going through, that like we need to know where we are in ourselves, and we need to be looking after ourselves, and giving us the best chance to step forward. So I guess by acknowledging that our past has brought us to where we are now is also kind of an acknowledgement that we haven't we haven't necessarily messed up. Like maybe we're on a journey and maybe it hasn't gone the way that we want it, but what are the good things about where we are, and what are the things that I mean, I would love to be in a full-time job where I mean, I have a mortgage, so um I'd love to be in a full-time job where I like I was, but I'm not even doing part-time now, but it gives me more time to do things like TikTok, and it gives me more time to spend times with friends. So I think about what are the things that I am grateful for, and making sure that I'm talking about those, and not coming from a place of what do I wish I had, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and that can be really can even take time to reach that place too, because things can be really hard.
Yeah.
Also really, yeah, like it's normal to feel frustrated or angry or, yeah, wishing your circumstances were different. But it's, yeah, it is nice to reach a place where you feel a sense of peace, where you can, yeah, just sit
Mm.
with a sense of acceptance and move forward
Mm.
in that way. Yeah, otherwise it can be, yeah, it can be a lot for sure.
Mm. For sure. You were saying that you also had a bit of a like a journey as well. Would you mind telling me a bit more about that? You don't have to, obviously,
No, no,
but
absolutely. Yeah, yeah, I mean, it's been interesting.
mm.
A few years ago, it's funny. Where do you start?
Yeah.
Yes, the last few years I've been in a bit of a recovery journey.
Mm-mm.
Because yeah, when I was about, oh gosh, maybe like 14 years old, um, I developed I guess, yeah, I don't know how to say these things on TikTok because I know that it can be really triggering, but yeah, trigger warning,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but yeah, developed an eating disorder, and I
Mm-hmm.
never really got help for, so it sort of, you know, transformed into lots of different things over the course of maybe about 10, 11 years of my life. Um,
Yeah.
and so it went through a lot of different sort of stages, and
Mm.
I never really addressed it. I never really got better. It was something I always wanted to get better for, but you know, I think my, you know, parents and guardians, they didn't really know how to handle it. They, you know, I think felt bad for the fact that it was happening and sort of didn't want to admit what was happening. And so, yeah, like it was only a few years ago, just sort of pretty much around COVID times, I think. I think that time of life really forced a lot of us to have a look at sort of what was happening for us, even internally, um,
Yeah.
with maybe a little bit more space available to us, or, you know, situations changing. And so, yeah, I just reached a point where I think I was becoming so anxious and so unhappy and confused that
Mm.
yeah, I essentially sort of actually marched myself off into recovery for that thing, like, which, um,
Takes a lot of
yeah, and yeah, I mean, it absolutely has changed my life, and I'm a completely, I don't want to say completely different human, but I think the way that I live my life is completely different now because of all of the, you know, the brain space that I have, and energy I have to give towards other things now that I am not wrestling with those things as much. And it's, I mean, it's not linear. Like every day is, you know, every day is different, and you're, you know, constantly sort of, yeah, learning to accept things and move forward. And like I am still, you know, like I still struggle with anxiety and things like that, and I'm, you know, on medication for things like that. But it's been interesting because I feel like there's a lot of things that I used to have a lot of stigma around, I now just feel a lot of peace around. And I think that what I've
yeah.
found, even this conversation we're having, it's like the thing that really helped me to get better, that showed me that there was another way, was by actually seeing
Mm.
other people share their journeys and know that it is
Mm.
possible to look at this stuff, and yeah, and to sort of choose a different way. And even though it is really hard, that things can be better. It's I don't know. I think it's an amazing thing, because I think it makes it more possible for people to live with these things in some ways, if it's an open dialogue and there's vulnerability and openness about it, and we're, you know, accepted for who we are, and what we might struggle with, and, you know, the,
Mm.
yeah, all of the things that make us us and what we've been through. So yeah, no, I mean, long story short, it's it's, yeah, it's been a journey, but yeah, it's, I mean, I'm infinitely changed for it as well too, and even in the way that I relate to other human beings. I think I resonate and relate to people very differently, and the level of empathy I have for other people in their own journeys is has, you know, I mean, I've always had empathy, but it's just a whole different kind of empathy when you've been to those places.
Yeah, and there's like it's like an empathy as opposed to like a sympathy for somebody, because like it's not that you're experiencing what they're going through, but you understand the struggle of what they might be going through. Like if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, most definitely. And I think, and in that way, it's like even like how we you're talking about before, sharing tools and resources and helping people. It's when we go on these journeys ourselves, and then we can sort of, yeah, I don't know, start to talk about them, and where it's almost like
Yes.
we're helping people in a who are in a position who in a position where we once were, and then I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
everyone's kind of doing the same thing. It's a pretty beautiful thing how we can create, and it's like a cycle of healing for everyone.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Because we are kind of reinforcing or encouraging people to be authentic, to live their truth, to
Mm.
um, show who they really are, and also kind of not just to work on themselves, but to be kind to themselves and to have like self care and to give themselves the best chance forward. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, most definitely.
So I also have anxiety. So when I say like, do you get what I mean? Is probably because in my head I'm like, I don't know if I have been understood, if I'm understandable. So I might say it a bit, but that's just me.
No, I completely get that. I think I find myself saying things like that a lot. Like if I always say, if that makes sense, at the end of a lot of
Yeah,
my,
yeah.
yeah.
It's so true. It's so true. And like it's almost a technique or like a coping technique, because in the past maybe things haven't been understood, and so by saying if you understand what I mean, like it kind of gives us that opportunity to check without like asking, "Am I saying the right thing?" like,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
It's such a like, I mean, and so often like the anxiety or mental health things that we can feel are associated with times in our life where, yeah, where maybe we weren't given the sort of care or love or emotional regulation or attention or whatever it is that we needed. So it's interesting how a lot of what can come up in the present can almost be mirroring those instances, but even though it's years later or very different situations or
Yeah.
um, yeah, we just have, I think we have to find so much compassion for ourselves. Being human is so it's so tricky, it's messy, it's beautiful, but it's really messy. And
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think, like, honestly, I think that we just all need to give ourselves a big pat on the back sometimes just for showing up and yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Like when we're able to move through something, yes, it makes us stronger, but we've had to work for that. It's not just something that's happened. Oh hi, hi, oh hi, Jeros. Sorry, someone said hi, so I said hi back.
Oh, hi,
Um, I'm so ADHD right now. Uh, yeah, so it's oh my gosh, literally my train of thought just flew out of the station. Um, what
I
were
feel
we
like I
talking
can, like the way that presents for me is sometimes I'll be in a conversation and then I'll see something and I'll
Yeah.
just stop. And it's almost like those scenes where you see, like, I don't know, in a movie where it's like squirrel, like a dog sees a squirrel or something. It's like, I call them my like squirrel moments.
So true. Oh my gosh. But hey, sometimes just squirrel moments are the best moments because then you just find like a random like garden full of beauty because you felt you ran after the squirrel.
Yeah, I love that. I've never thought about it that way, but that's beautiful.
Oh, thanks. Okay, so Giros, am I saying your name right there? Giros, I agree. Sometimes you need to wake up and say frog everything and worry about ourselves. Yeah, yeah. And I mean, it's not necessarily worrying about ourselves, but like putting ourselves first because we matter. And I have a song called I Matter Too, which is because sometimes it feels like we have to be the giver and everyone takes, but they don't give back. But yeah, to be able to look after ourselves. Saying don't. I agree. Yes. Oh, fantastic. Yeah, yeah. So looking after ourselves is so very, very important. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. You have anything to add to that there, Jess?
Well, yeah, I love what you just said. I think it's like the old adage of putting on our oxygen masks first, you know? I think
Mm.
it's, and I mean, I even find it when I first wake up in the morning, it's like if I go to my little well-being routines of, sitting and journaling or just being
Mm.
with myself and kind of coming to myself before I then go out into the world, it really, it like it creates a sort of capacity that I can have to then hold space for others and be with others. But it's almost like I'm just addressing myself before the day begins, and and treating myself with that sort of care and love and um,
Mm.
yeah, honoring myself in that way so that I can then honor others and be of service to others and be my best in the world. And I think that is important. And
Mm.
yeah, sometimes there's times in our lives where I think that might, like it can be a different capacity. Like I think sometimes we might need to attend to our own needs more than at others sometimes, and then
Yeah.
other times we might have more capacity for service. But yeah, I think it's just important to honor the moment and yourself, and
Mm.
and also just having compassion for yourself, that can look so different from moment to moment and day to day as well.
And that's okay, and being like, sorry, I cut you off there. Please continue.
No, yeah, absolutely. It's
Mm.
exactly. It's okay. Like that's absolutely okay. Like life is so dynamic. I think I often catch myself in moments where I'm trying to aim towards this sort of perfect reality where I don't have any problems and everything's in my control and I finally ticked all the
Mm.
boxes and I have my life purpose and the perfect situations. But I think also accepting that that moment will actually never come in the way that I might anticipate it to, because life is forever changing and so dynamic. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, and I kind of guess it's just we 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 can just do our best with that, and it's going to look our best is going to look so different from moment to moment as well.
Oh, for sure. We can be stuck in a place where we worry about ourselves. Remember, there is family there for us. That is so true. Like knowing, and knowing what our support systems are, and knowing what are those things that keep us going is so so important. I did the whole flip thing again, didn't I? There.
No, don't be
So
sorry.
this,
I love
don't worry, I'm just my inner dialogue is just beating myself up. That's fine. We're just gonna move past it.
yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, knowing what our supports are, what are the things that like are going to give us life. Like I know that if I do um, yoga, I've got bad knees, so I do yoga for sensitive knees. That my day is going to be so much more calm. I haven't done it in a long while, and I'm trying to push myself because then I can do a TikTok on being active, because I'm not good at it. But I know that it's good for me, and I know that spending time with people is something that's good for me. That I also need to spend time by myself, and uh, I a big part for me is like noticing what's out there, what's beautiful right now. So usually each day, one of the things that I just really just always so beautiful for me is just bird song. And I have a tree outside my house that just I just the little birds are just chirping away doing life, and it's just beautiful. And so if I'm doing my gratefulness journal, that's usually something that I write in it. Then very promptly afterwards, my husband. Yeah. So um, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that's a beautiful thing to sort of. I think that's also another really
Mm.
sort of beautiful way to connect with yourself and to
Yeah.
find maybe healing is to like I love that technique. I think maybe I don't know where I'd heard it originally, but I when I ended a
Mm.
therapy session and sort of needed to come back to a place of grounding, my therapist, asked me what are five things you can see and what are five things you can hear and five things
Oh yes.
you can smell, and you're kind of tuning
Yeah.
into your senses in a way that brings you back to a moment of grounding. so that you can really just come back to this moment and your senses. And I think that really helps me in a moment where, you know, I struggle with anxiety. Some, you know, I might have, you know, if I'm having a panic attack, like I'm really grateful that, you know, I have a really loving supportive partner who can recognize those signs and like also remind me, like, you know, okay, let's name something that you can feel and what can you see. And it's amazing how in a moment where I might feel like I'm disassociating from my body or, you know, where I'm at that time, how it can just sort of even just slowly bring me back to a place where I can, just come back to my breath, come back to my body, come back to myself. It's, I guess that's been another little tool that's been really helpful as well.
Oh, grounding's so important, and it's such a good way because like sometimes, like you're saying, like when we disassociate, like for me when that happens for me, it's like I'm underwater and people are talking but they're far away and I'm just like everything's too much. And like the 5 4 3 2 1 that you were talking about is so good. I might do a TikTok on that. But yeah, so like the 5 things you can see, the 4 things you can hear, the 3 things you can touch, the 2 things you can smell, I think, and the 1 thing that you can taste. And like as you count back as well, just like 5 4 3 2 1 also just gives that kind of finality, I find. Like I've been reading. I've been listening to a podcast by Stuart Mackey called Hey It's Stuart or This Is Stuart, one of those two. And it's all about like self improvement, mindfulness, being kind to ourselves. What are the things that we need? Also, Gerald, thank you so much for the roses. Oh my gosh, wow. And we're coming back to the thought, and the thought is Stuart Mackey and podcast. And I think it's really cool because some of the things he talks about is this 5 4 3 2 1 for just like getting on with something. Because if you count from like 1 to 5 and you're like, okay, after 5, I'll get started, you can just count to 6 and you keep going. But if you count backwards from 5, then at 1, you're like, well, I have no opportunity to not do this now. And then you just have to like dive in. And that's what he does, like to like get into the things that maybe are a little less comfortable. Or for him, he does cold training where he like jumps into the lake in Ireland and yeah, I did a slight, tiny cold training just the other day. I was up at the beach and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna jump into the tide. And I was like, how does he do this? But the lake was probably like nice and like deep, so you could get completely submerged.
Oh yes, yeah. Oh, it's amazing. I went to Tasmania earlier this year, and like even being in Launceston, and there's this at Cataract Gorge. There's this beautiful the gorge there, and it is like an ice bath, and you're seeing all these Tasmanians, all the locals swimming in this ice bath, and it took me like 10 or 15 minutes just to sort of like dunk myself in. But it does feel invigorating when it's happening. Yeah. I find myself very overcome with just those anxious feelings of, oh my God, I can't breathe. But I guess it's, I don't know, it's more of sort of like that sort of being able to regulate and calm yourself down in that situation, and the resilience and, the grounding that brings, and then that post invigorating feeling. But yeah, I can't, I have so much kudos for anyone that does that on a daily basis.
Oh my gosh, yeah, absolutely, yeah. But yeah, being able to be self-regulate in a place for oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. This is my ADHD coming through, by the way. I'll be halfway through a thought and then I kind of have to get myself back on track. And that's why my TikToks are 1 minute long. Yeah, but like when you can keep yourself like regulated in situations that cause you anxiety.
Mm.
um like you're able to deal with so much more, and it doesn't mean that life is has got the free for all card to just like throw ish at you,
Mm.
but you have this resilience that that usually you get from going through hard things, but it keeps you going.
Mm.
Yeah. Now I've been having some looking at the chat.
Yes.
um now Now, is it gyros? I'm probably I okay. So I have some Greek in me. So if you know what a gyros is, like Gyros, when I see your name, it sounds like a gyros. When I'm in a dark place, aka my own thoughts, I like to go. So make to see my grandma. She puts a smile on me. She's old school. She's straight up. Our grandparents tell the truth every time. Um, Yeah, that's that's so true. Finding those things, those supports, those things that knowing the people that are going to bring us life. Like when we have poison people in our life, it's going to bring us down. But once we know what it is that's actually like not helpful for us, then the best thing we can do is to look after ourselves. So when we find those people that if we walk into a room and we are having the worst day, that we can walk out of that room and feel like we've had the best because we've had time with people that care for us and love us for who we are and don't want us to be something different. Well, they want us to work on ourselves and to grow and learn, of course, but like they love us as we are. Yeah. So that's really cool. Gyros. Oh, mm. Anyways, um, um, I probably will need to go in about 8 minutes.
Yeah, sure.
So, uh, yeah, but I wondered, I was like, because we both singers, do we want to sing a song or something? But then I'm like, it might look be a bit weird because then I'll be singing and then you'll be there. But uh, I
Um,
really, really wish that I'd been able to see your video. Oh
yeah.
well.
I
Oh
need to
well.
look into this, or I need to contact TikTok. But I do have my guitar if you want to sing through a song. I know it might, I don't, if you want me to
Okay.
play guitar and you want to, and we want to sing together. Um,
Yeah, I love that. Do you mind if I do harmony?
yeah, whatever you would like. Is any
Cool.
particular song that you'd like to sing, or any favorite artists, or
Well, I did get your lovely list, and there was quite a few on there that I kind of knew, but let me have a wee look here. I kind of feel like something. Oh, girls just want to have fun.
oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I love that one. Here we go. Um,
I kind of do a bit.
Something about. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I kind of do a bit. My version is a bit folky country, but still the same lyrics and melody and all of that. But I tend to sort of make my own versions of things to the point where sometimes people can't recognize the songs.
No, I love it. I love it. Well, something good to know about me is I kind of like I can hear a song and then kind of just do a harmony to it. Uh, so I'll just like kind of go with it, really. I did harmonies in church growing up, so I just was able to like I've picked it up with. Gosh, I hope that doesn't sound like a humble brag.
But I think that's such. I mean, that's what a beautiful space to foster a love for music and connecting with people and singing all together. Like, oh, like
Yeah.
be in tune with each other's voices. Like that. That's such a beautiful way to begin that love for something like music.
Yeah. And it was really cool because it was something that can I get a wish I could sing a song for you from my nationality. Well, if you check up a TikTok, send me a message. There you go. Uh, ooh, can I get a? I don't know if I should say that. What does it mean? What is tia? T? Tiare bu. Uh, um, yeah. We were talking about, just bring ourselves back. Yes, singing in church. What I really love about it was like when I sing harmony, I'm able to make the person who sing melody like have like a even like a fuller voice. So I feel like I'm actually like helping them.
Oh,
If you get what I mean?
yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
used to sing harmonies in a band, and I feel like it's its own little yeah skill to sort of the way that you blend and yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
I know exactly what
exactly.
you mean.
Yeah. And the one thing I found like really like helpful when I was like doing harmonies, if there's anybody who does harmonies, is you don't say the tis, the t and the s, or like the kind of consonants that are kind of or the p, or like those kind of sounds.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting. Okay, and that
Yeah.
helps to sort of blend a little bit better.
Exactly. Yeah. So usually you don't say like the last part of a song of a lyric if it's at the end of a sentence or things like that, just so that it's like a little bit more mellow. Yeah.
Okay, nice. That's a good tip. I love it.
Woo! All 29 years, baby. Woo!
No,
I do not feel comfortable saying that. Anyways, all right. Hit us with some sick tunes.
okay, we'll see how we go. It's so funny. Yeah. Imagining what
Yeah.
it's going to sound like for people when they can't see the guitar or anything, but maybe it'll be fine.
Yeah, maybe we'll be fine. Absolutely. Hey, that's a fantastic name for a song.
Yeah. It's a fantastic motto for life. Maybe it'll be fine.
Maybe it'll be fun.
Okay. I come home in the morning light. My mother says, when you gonna live your life right? Oh, mother dear, we're not the fortunate ones. Girls, they wanna
They wanna have fun.
oh,
Oh,
girls just don't
girls just wanna
wanna have fun. Beautiful. The phone rings in the
ring
middle of
in the
the
middle of the
night. My
night.
father asks
Before
me what
the
you
hours what
gonna
you
do
gonna
with
do
your
with
life.
your life.
Oh, daddy, do
Oh,
you know you're still number one?
number
And
one.
girls, they
Girls
wanna
just
have
wanna have
fun.
fun.
Oh, girls
Oh,
just
girls just wanna have
so they really want
fun.
some fun. When the working
Working
day is
day,
done, oh, girls,
girls,
they wanna
they wanna
have
have
fun.
fun.
Oh,
Oh,
girls just
girls
wanna
just
have
wanna
fun. Some boys take a beautiful girl
girl and they hide away
the rest
from
of
the
the
rest of
world.
the world.
I wanna be the one to walk in the shine. Oh, girls, they
Girls,
wanna,
they wanna have fun.
oh,
Oh,
girls just
girls
wanna
just
have.
wanna have
It's all they really
really
want.
fun.
Some
Yes,
fun.
fun.
When the
When
working day
working
is
day is
done, oh,
done, oh,
girls,
girls,
they wanna
they wanna have
have fun.
fun.
Oh,
Oh,
girls just wanna
just
have.
wanna have
So they really want
fun.
some fun. When the working
Working
day is
day is
done, oh,
done,
girls,
oh
they
girl,
wanna
they
have
wanna have
fun.
fun.
Oh,
Oh
girls just
girl, just
wanna have
wanna
fun. And then sometimes I do the bit where it's like the girls just wanna have fun.
yeah,
The
go for
girls
it.
they wanna wanna
Just
have
wanna have fun,
girls
girls.
wanna
Just
have
wanna have
fun. Girls
Just
Wanna have
wanna hold
fun,
my
girls.
girls.
Wanna
Just
have
wanna have.
fun, girls.
Ooh,
Wanna have fun,
ooh,
girls.
ooh.
Wanna have fun, girls. Wanna have
Wanna hold
fun,
my.
girls. Wanna
I'm
have
running
when
for.
the working day is done, oh girls, they wanna have fun. Oh girls, just
Just
wanna
wanna
have fun.
have.
Woohoo!
Woo! Oh, oh my gosh. It has been an absolute pleasure having a chat with you, Jess. Please, please, please follow Miss Jess over here. Jess Folk Pop Music Fairy with the fairy emoji. Just in case you didn't know that. And thank you so much, Jess, for joining. It's been really nice to have a bit of a korero, or like what in Māori is like a called a talk, just about our lives and our journeys and how beautifully human they are and how we've found ways through. So I look forward to chatting with you again, Jess. Did you have anything to say before we end it?
Oh, just thank you so much for having me, Alexia. It's so nice to meet you, even if only just over audio in my case, but lovely to see your beautiful
No.
face and chat. And yeah, I would love to chat again sometime soon. I think these conversations are so important and valuable, and yeah, just really happy to be a part of them. So thank you so much for having me.
Oh, thank you. Oh, it has. It's been a pleasure. You've been so easy to talk to. Obviously, wish you had video, but you'll get there because everyone who's on this is going to follow you, right? Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I'm not one to push people, but yeah, no.
Yeah.
And
No.
on that lovely, very non-awkward note, I should probably say ka kite anō. um, yeah, I hope you all have a lovely day. And once again, thank you so much, Jess. Yeah, cool. We'll say goodbye.
Yeah, thank you. Have a beautiful rest of your Wednesday.
Yes, likewise. Yeah, like it's nice to be country neighbors with you.
Yes, yes, not too far apart
Yeah,
in time zone or distance.
yeah, it's so good, so good. Yeah, I can't wait to talk to you again. And I also hope that you have a excellent day. Yeah.
Thank you so
Okay.
much. See you later. Bye.
Bye.